Marvin Parker, KTSW Sports at Texas State University. You're at home where you've played numerous times playing a 14 seed. How do you find your motivation? Are you approaching this game differently than others, or are you trying to approach this game as you would any other game?
For me, it's a little bit of both, considering it's my last year to, I guess, be a part of all of this. So, you know, as an athlete, you know, in the back of your head, you want to approach it like any other game. But then, again, as a senior, you know, this is your last go-around. So.
Ronnie.
For either any of you three, how do you think the almost 2 weeks you guys have had off since the SEC tournament is going to play into the game tomorrow?
I think that that 2 weeks off would be is pretty good for us because we did go into the SEC tournament and we did make a pretty lengthy run, and unfortunately we came up short to Tennessee, but we played hard and we were kind of fatigued at the end of that game. But these 2 weeks off, we've came back. We've had a different variety of practice. We have a hard practice. We might have a slight offensive practice and a hard defensive practice, a hard offensive practice and a slight defensive practice. And I think that'll be good for us and saving our legs and also getting what we need to work on. And I feel like that coming into this game tomorrow, we should be pretty well prepared. We should have fresh legs and yeah.
Cease.
Robert Sessa, Bryant College Station Eagle. For Jordan and Courtney, being a sophomore going into tournament, what's the difference the year of experience mean to you, ladies?
Courtney can take it.
I think a year of experience means a whole lot since we played together this whole year and just got a chance to know each other. And I think playing last year will kind of calm our nerves and get a win.
Christy.
Christy Reekin from the Associated Press. Karla, can you talk about the value of all y'all's experience in the tournament, especially when you're playing a team that's never been in the tournament at all?
Being in the tournament, of course, you know, very valuable because hopefully, you know, you've been there before, your nerves aren't as bad, you know what to expect. So being the person who already, or the team that already knows what's going on and how things go in the tournament, you know, is a little bit more calming. So expecting and knowing what's happening forward is just, I guess, easier for everybody just to focus and go ahead and get what we need to do, get done.
Ronnie in the front.
For Karla, third year in a row, you started the tournament at home for you for your whole life. This being your last go-around and you being a senior and having that home court, what does it mean to you, and how do you plan to use it to your advantage?
You know, these last couple games are very valuable to me, considering, you know, I am a senior, so this is my last go-around of playing here at Reed Arena. So I'm expecting us to dominate no matter what the situation, and hopefully we're able to show up like we're supposed to.
In the back.
For the athletes, what have you seen at North Dakota that you think you can absolutely take advantage of in the game tomorrow?
Our size and quickness. We're a pretty athletic team, and we're fortunate to rotate 3 bigs in Karla, Rachel, and Jada. And I feel like that's mainly our strong point is because we're a very quick and athletic team. And we do have bigs that we can just constantly rotate in. So I feel like that that will eventually take us to our advantage because they are a little bit undersized. So, yeah, we just really have to work our post and use our quickness.
Any more for student athletes? All right, ladies, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now we open up the floor to questions from Coach Blair. We'll go to Brent.
Gary, what was your first impression of Karla when you obviously saw her growing up, and then how pleased were you when she came aboard with your program and what her career has been like since?
I heard about Karla at my first press conference when I took the job in late March, early April '03. I think she was a 5th or 6th grader. But I heard about her, that there was a local kid in town, and you just want to follow up on that. And I really started following her more when she became a 7th and 8th grader and watching her play junior high games. And she is one of the most good-natured kids I've ever coached in my life. There's not a mean bone in her body, and I think that's why her major is special education. She's going to be a tremendous teacher and coach, and I can't get her mad at me during practice. I try like heck, but this is a kid that you're so proud of. First, in today's generation, kids transfer due to AAU coaches, overzealous parents that think they should be this and that. And this is a kid that stayed home and waited and had to answer all the questions. But it was pretty easy to answer the questions when you've got 2 All-Americans, Daniel Adams and Kelsey Bone, playing in front of her. So she got better and better and better. And we've been surprised this year. It's just at her stamina, how many minutes that she can play. And if I can keep her out of foul trouble, I think she's really developed her offensive game. On defense, she set the record for our block shots. And I just think she's very good. The only thing she lacks is speed. She's got everything else.
Olin.
Olin Buchanan, Tech Sags. Gary, I think it's the 8th year in a row that y'all are in the tournament with at least a 4-seed or higher. How do you account for that much consistency?
Good players, home court advantage. I think it's 7 in a row. Cecil know on this. I think we had 4 straight number 2s and then 3 straight number 3s. And I'm not sure what it was that first year or the second year. I'm not sure, but I know 7 now in a row. That's what you aspire to be. Like when I said when we won the national championship, I said we're not a one-hit wonder. We want to stay at the top. And when I look at the programs across the country that are always in the NCAA tournament and always do well and at least get to Sweet 16s or Elite 8, that's why I'm still coaching. I mean, I get up for the big games. I get up for the coaches that I'm coaching against. I study the coaches, and I let my assistant coaches study the other team. I want to know everything about Travis, what he's all about, everything there is, and that's consistency. I give a lot of credit to the tendencies of that coach, what he's done in the past or what she's done in the past. Consistency is 100% recruiting and staying healthy. Think about it. We hadn't had too many serious injuries in 11 years. We had Tyra White blow a knee, and that's the only kid, if I'm not mistaken, we've had to redshirt because of injury. And that redshirt year really helped her, and it helped us get a national championship that year.
We'll go to Ronnie and then go to Christy.
Gary, it sets up similar to last year, 3-seed on your own home court. What needs to happen this year differently than last year for you guys to make it out to the Sweet 16?
The matchup last year against Nebraska was not a great matchup for us, particularly after we had just come through the rough and tumble and the athletic SEC. And all of a sudden you face a Lindsey Moore and a Jordan Hooper and a well-coached Nebraska team that we faced them a number of times in the Big 12 when we were always able to beat them here, but we couldn't beat them there. Well, it wasn't a good matchup, and that happens both on the men's side and the women's side. Who are you matched up? Generally, you like to play somebody similar to you in a lot of different areas. Are they a man team or a zone team? Are they a trapping team? Do they like to push it, or do they like to slow it down? And then as a coach, to get through 6 games in the NCAA tournament, you have to adjust your style. If you're dead set on your style winning all the time, you might sit at home like Mike Krzyzewski just happened to do by shooting 3-pointers. And, yeah, sometimes you're open for a reason. But sometimes when the shots are not going, we have to adjust to whatever game plan that we put forth for the team that we're playing. And against North Dakota, it's a different game plan, one that we hadn't played. There's no one like North Dakota in the SEC, but we've played teams in non-conference play that are similar. And I give a lot of respect for Travis. He's played 3 Big Ten teams. And North Dakota and South Dakota, those are the 2 most underrated basketball states in the doggone country. It's just good basketball up there on the men and the women's side.
Christy.
Christy Reekin from the Associated Press. I know as someone who's been around basketball a long time and built your program, do you, of course you want to win and do well, but do you kind of appreciate a team like North Dakota that's never made the tournament and kind of what they're going through to build a program like this?
When I called and talked to them on the phone, I called all 3 coaches and congratulated them for coming. And of course, I've known Kelly for a long time since he beat my butt 4 years ago, but he's one of the masters. I know what Kenny's all about. Great player that turned into a great coach. And now, as soon as I talked to Travis, I just felt like I've known him forever. And how dumb and smart I am, all he wanted to know was where the best barbecue was. His team went to Rudy's. I took him where the best barbecue was. We went to Fargo's this morning, had rib tips and brisket and the whole 9 yards, so I fattened him up for the kill, hopefully. But he's just a good guy. And I appreciate what he's done. When I look at all 3 of these young men that are in there coaching, the pedigree that each one of them has, they're good at what they do. They were all very good basketball players themselves. I sucked, okay? I couldn't play a lick. I sat on the bench. But I could hit the baseball. I couldn't hit it. I could bunt it. But it's just fun. I want to meet new people. And then sometimes I want to renew old acquaintances like Kelly and everything. I've never had a chance to play Kenny before. And I really just enjoy when those names come out across the board. Who are you playing? And the NCAA screwed it up big time this time, when all of a sudden they're talking about that first round, and then all of a sudden they're just putting the whole doggone bracket up. Just think, if you're North Dakota and that's the first time, you don't even get a chance to enjoy it because they changed the format or something. All of a sudden, instead of seeing the teams jump up and down, that's not good. We had to stage ours on the first commercial because all the photographers were there waiting, and all of a sudden they showed Texas A&M playing North Dakota and never said a word for about another 20 seconds. And then, so we were all real quiet, so we staged the celebration to help you photographers out. But I don't know if that answered that question, Christy. You know me, I'm all over the map. So good to see you back, though.
Any more for Coach? Right here, Cease.
Gary, there's not the upsets on the women's side. Historically, there are on the men's side. As a high seed, what's your concern going into the first game and going into the tournament?
Well, first, I'm always glad that the men start on Thursday and Friday and the women go a little bit later. That's going to change in a couple of years. But I can use this as motivation. I can use Mercer. I was sitting there last night eating my Mexican food and watching my old school Stephen F. Austin win. Improbable, but what a heck of a job that team did. And you talk about those instances, and you talk about a 3 and a 14 where a 14's never beaten a 3 in the women's game. But at the same time, there's always first. And what you want to do is talk about your team perhaps more than the opponent in the first round. You want your team clicking on all cylinders. You do what you do best. You do what you do best. Give credit to the other team. They're going to do what they do best, and hopefully you've got a little bit more ammunition than they have. But the key is staying out of foul trouble. The key is not playing HTM, hope they miss, MTM, make them miss, okay? And that's what you want to do. You want to play pressure defense without fouling somebody or getting somebody in foul trouble. But why give a team an open shot just because she might not have made that shot on a consistent basis all year? This is the playoffs. Let's get with it. Let's guard people. Rebounding and defense usually wins in the first round. Rebounding and defense.
In the back.
Coach, you talked about how the competition in the SEC last year and how that may have impacted you going into the tournament last year. How do you think that now a second year worth of SEC competition may have a different impact this year?
Well, I think my freshmen are now sophomores and they've grown up. And I wouldn't trade those 3 sophomore guards and the 2 sophomores coming off the bench for any group of sophomore guards on any team anywhere. They're more mature. They're learning how to handle situations. They're not making as many excuses as they used to. Now they're realizing, hey, I actually did this wrong, before we show them the next day in the film room, where it's usually the Rocky Mountain Horror Show or something, and you show the film, and then they realize it. Now they know. They're more mature. They're handling a little bit of basketball IQ a little bit better. We're coming in here with 2 junior college players at the 4 position. We had no idea how they would blend into our offense, and they've done fairly well. And then you've got Karla, who's been on the bench, played 12 minutes a game last year, now playing 28 to 29 minutes a game. You're not sure how it's going to go. But I'm as happy with this team, even perhaps more so than the team I had last year, with an All-American in Kelsey Bone and a senior 4-player in Bellick and a senior point guard, because I think we have lived up to expectations and even more so. That's what you get excited about, because you went back to that word consistency. When players graduate, next player up. You want that next player up to be able to step into that role and carry the mantle, what tradition is all about here at A&M. And I'm proud of this basketball team, but at sometimes we can get very average on certain things that we do. What we've got to do is be able to make the adjustments in game instead of waiting to halftime or practice to counter whatever the other team is doing. And my assistants are very good at that. They give me awfully good suggestions, and then Starkey's handling the defense just like the pro he is.